And welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast, along with my partners Brian Siegler, Jonathan Talley, and a returning Shelton Moss. I am Curtis Wilson, and as always, we are brought to you by Dr. Jeremy Counts, down at the Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, 301 South Main Street in Blacksburg. We are also brought to you by Moments on the Maury. Looking for a weekend getaway, maybe not this football season, but maybe in the spring, check out Moments on the Maury. It might be exactly what you're looking for. Owned by a proud Hokie and located just outside Lexington, Virginia. Place gives you fishing, kayaking, just relaxing by or in the river right outside your back door. Also, again, Lexington is a beautiful town, right, Shelton?
Say it again.
Lexington is a beautiful town, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say, go Lexington. There's never a bad time to be in Lexington. You go hit up Sweet Things Ice Cream. Go check out BMI, my dad's alma mater. So we very much recommend Lexington BA on this podcast.
Absolutely. And you're about an 8-minute drive from town when you stay at Moments on the Maury. Check out there is a farm to table butcher down there. The meat's just on point. On point. We got some burgers when we visited there last summer. Check them out. We'll put the link in the chat and Moments on the Maury. It is Monday, y'all. We all had some conflicting things going on between things outside, then normal work, then baseball and other crap. So we are live on a Monday night. How's everybody doing?
Man, it's been a little bit of overcast, a little rainy, a little windy the last couple of days. Hadn't been able to get outside like I quite wanted to, but I think things are shaping up a little bit better tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to be here tonight. Excited to see what some of the fans out there have to say about this head coaching situation as we break that down. But obviously, we gotta tell the truth about Georgia Tech first, guys.
No, we really don't have to tell the truth about Georgia Tech. We can skip it. We already know what the truth is. I am excited to hear what everybody has to say. Not that it's going to make a difference. We just talking. I mean, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. But I am excited to hear what everybody has to say about the coaching because there has been a lot of keyboarding about tweets and who should and who shouldn't. And that's a dumb idea. So you do have your opportunity today to come on and let us know why it is a good idea or why it isn't a good idea to hire blank. Shelton, hey man, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I've been very busy, but still keeping up with the Hokies. I was at a wedding on Saturday, so I didn't watch the game obviously, but it was kind of nice to sort of get away from football, and especially with the way the season's been going, just kind of get away from it and be with my friends and all that good stuff. So I'm a happy guy.
Yeah. Saturday, I watched the first quarter, and then one of my wife's colleagues lives up in Montpelier. If everybody knows where that is, a little southwestern Hanover County. Not a nice little spread. They do a huge camp out every year, like in their backyard. They got about 3 acres. So they have people camp out, party, drinking. They had a pizza truck there, just making Stonefire pizzas. So had some beers. Shout out Ryan, fellow Hokie there. Got to chat with him all about it and some of the other stuff going on. He's one of my wife's colleagues' husbands. Graduate 1990. So old school. He said we sucked when we were in football there. Looks like it hadn't changed much, but in reality, it had. And he talked about going. I mean, he was straight up. He said, "I went to the national championship at Sugar Bowl." He had one of his best friends. I went to Tulane and stayed in New Orleans, so it was awesome. Me and him share stories back and forth. Really cool. But Tally, we do got to tell the truth first. Then we're gonna hit one other piece of news, and then we are going to open it up to everybody. So Brian will put that in the chat in just a few minutes. But let's talk about Saturday afternoon. I watched the first quarter, then watched the rest of it on Sunday morning. And I got to say this, and I think, Tally, you mentioned it last week. Philip Montgomery has yet to lose this team. They are not quitting. They are playing extremely hard. That's one of the things that went well on Saturday. Like, because after that start in that first quarter, I mean, that game could have been like 42-0, and it wouldn't have shocked anybody on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you had you got punched in the mouth real quick on defense. You had your quarterback get nicked up pretty early. Late in the early drive, and I think there was a lot of opportunities for the wheels to completely fall off of that game, and they didn't. To the point where late in the second half, you're potentially driving to make it a one-score game, and get into a situation where you can maybe let your defense get the ball back and see what the hell happens. But unfortunately, that's not how it played out. The Yellow Jackets ended up still hanging on to the cover because of the decision to go for 2 for whatever reason. But you know what? I did like the fight. They definitely did not quit, and they fought hard to the end, despite really getting kind of controlled and handled for 4 quarters.
Yeah, it was what was that about? What was going on in the game? Georgia Tech
you talking about the 2
at the
points?
beginning. Yeah, they
Them
go for 2, and then we go for 2.
I think
don't know
they
what
were
that
just
was
trying to. I think they were trying to hit the kill shot early. Like they felt like if they got a touchdown and 2, we were going to be dead. I think us going for the 2 tally. I think Montgomery knew the defense was going to give up more, and he was trying to steal a couple points.
Yeah. I kind of what you guys have already been talking about. I mean, when you say what went well, I can't say enough about the kids just playing, like just not giving up, going into games, kind of knowing what the situation is. And again, every fan, man, we could have won that. We should have did this. We could have did this different. Like we're down kids, you know what I'm saying? We're down a lot of players, me and kids, whatever you want to call them. Not an excuse, but it's just we have fired a coach. People's hit the portal. People's hurt. I think we are 5 defensive starters down, maybe 6, 7 in the 2 deep that we thought would be contributing, not playing.
Yeah.
So things like that, man, it's kind of taking a toll on what we're doing. We'll get into what didn't go well, But when we talk about what went well, I will continue to say that they're fighting. They're not giving up. They're at least competing in these games and not just taking a 42-0 beating. Because against Old Dominion, we gave up, and it was bad. So I haven't seen too much of that going on in these games. So Shout out to the guys out there playing.
Shelton.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't watch. I watched a condensed game. I looked this sad, so don't act like I know what I'm talking about. But it certainly seemed like we did a lot of good things in the run game. I mean, look at our success rates. I think we had like 6.8 yards per rush, and that includes sacks as well. So that was good, but we kind of got gashed on the D line. So kind of a mixed bag. I mean, we just lost to a better team, more talented team. They're a top 15 team in the country for a reason. So I don't know, kind of just take your lumps and move on.
Yep. I'll say one other thing because you talk about the run game. We're showing now that I think we're more fully versed in Monty's system now. Like some of the wide receivers are getting to show out. Like Heath and Green have showed out on Saturday. You mentioned already the rush, and Hawkins had a really good game. So it's not like the cupboard is completely bare, at least on offense. The defense, it feels like it's getting less and less every week. And I don't know if that matters or not for next year, but there are some kids that you could see someone walking in and saying like, no, you can't leave. You are going to be my number 1 guy. So there's what I can go with. Let's go to what went bad. And the start was just brutal. I mean, they just did what they wanted the first 2 drives. It wasn't even a question, and that sucked.
These are things that happen when you cannot get a pass rush and like 3 of your best cover guys are either injured or in the portal.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it's just so much to say and not say. But like Brian just alluded to, when you can't get home and you got people in the portal that's supposed to be playing or hurt, it's hard to It's hard to make plays and make stuff happen. Now, but I will say, you can kind of control that we did not do a good job of. I'll leave it to the chat. I'll leave it to you guys. We had some bull crap going on with these referees. Not saying refs is the reason we lost, but the undisciplined crap, that's just uncalled for. You know, all of the false starts and jumping off sides and, you know, penalties. They started that game and said, we want Georgia Tech to win. Let's find a way for them to win. I mean, for real.
It was clear. The one play that it was clear on, the holds and stuff, like we all know, that's ticky-tack. Some of them are obvious, like you didn't call it. The Heath hit, that was clear as day. He hit him out of bounds, and then he targeted the second hit. And they just...
I think the one that got me the most out of the, or not the most, but one of the calls, I think it may have been on one of the long runs. I know it was on one of the long runs that they had, but I can't remember who it was or where we was at. But somebody was in the backfield. I think it was Spencer. And the guy, like, grabbed him by his shoulder pads and tried to tackle him like he was running the ball. And it was no holding call, right in front of the ref. And I'm just like, well, that's what happens when you're a losing team. You know, you're not going to get that call. So all kinds of holes, you know, that is what it is. So I digress.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you're already going into a hostile environment, so you're going to get some home cooking anyway. They're the ranked team, so whether obvious or not, there's probably going to be some inherent there. It's one of those things where I think the ACC officiating overall has been piss poor, regardless of whether Virginia Tech's in a factor here. This goes back for many years and was probably most apparent last year, but I think is rearing its ugly head again this year. So the officiating in the ACC in general is just awful. In this case, I think Virginia Tech was on the wrong side of most of the calls on Saturday. Not that it impacted the outcome of the game, but it certainly was a frustrating thing to deal with through the course of it.
And we got Tenacious B in the chat. Put up his troll there. Oh, Tenacious B, thank you, buddy, for coming to the chat and letting us know this, man. It hurt our feelings so bad. We don't fucking care. We already know this, dude. If you listen to what we saying, we didn't say we lost because of the refs. We said we lost because we ain't got no fucking coach. Half of our team is in the portal, and we played a top 15 team that ain't that great, to be honest with you. If y'all play somebody who's worth a shit, you're going to fucking lose too, to be honest with you. So, come on, man. We here for the trolling. We like it. We know where we at.
We also need people to listen, right? You got to listen.
I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad your team, or maybe not your team, or your brother-in-law's team is doing good and they undefeated. Kudos. Go back and listen to the show last week. Nobody on here said we was going to win. We know where we are, my friend. So, hey,
accept the reality.
Thank you for joining the show. If you can find a coach to help us not be ass, we're going to put up a link here in just a little bit, and you can come on here and tell us how ass we are or how a coach can help us not be ass. Thank you, Tenacious B. Sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
Oh, man. All right. The other thing, also the what went bad, I want to talk about this one because this did set up their second touchdown. How the hell are you going to do the opposite punt thing and no motherfucking body on the special teams understand where they're supposed to go?
No, two people understood, just the rest of the fucking team.
Well, 2 times 11.
Did
you see that play, Sean?
Even the cameraman didn't know where the ball was at.
No, he didn't.
What is
going on? Because half our team's running the other direction. They're following the coverage unit. They're not following the ball.
How do you not locate the ball? How do you not know where the ball? I don't know, man.
Now, but that was like that was just that one play, and I'm sitting here watching it, and they don't say, "Oh, they kicked it opposite." Oh no, anything. There's nobody up there to actually tackle.
No.
I mean, that's a good assessment. What? It's Witt's fault.
It's all with fault. Everything was all with fault. All right.
Oh, my
Last
God.
piece I gotta say is my man Tally texted me. Tally, the unnecessary sacks, because Tally is texting just F-bombs off the hang. Just like throw the ball away. Don't take the sack, Kyron. Kyron, don't take unnecessary sacks.
You get out of when you get out of the, and Kyron's my guy. I got Kyron's shirt on right now.
Yes, you got.
Shout out to Kyron. When you get out of the tackle box, just throw it away. Don't give them a sack to get them hyped up at the beginning of the game. So I don't know, man. Just no situational awareness. Is it any coaching on the sideline when we do stupid shit? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I know it ain't
He
good.
almost got rid of that one where he went Mahomes full horizontal, but he couldn't quite get it to the line of scrimmage.
Just about. Anything else that went bad that stuck out? I'm trying to roll through it. We saw.
I mean, the big one was just Haynes King being unstoppable, and again, I already kind of talked about it a little bit. I mean, when you can't rush the passer because you're missing three of your top pass rushers at this point, and then you roll back and you got three of your best cover guys out for one reason or another. It's going to take a toll on you, and we're starting to see quarterback efficiency go way the fuck up against us, and that's the reason why when a quarterback has time and you can't cover for very long, they're going to complete a lot of fucking passes.
And he did.
Yeah.
He did.
And I'll also say, I got the stat wrong. Our yards per rush was 6.7 adjusted for sacks, 5.5 just regular, because for some reason college still includes sack yards and rushes. But 6.4 yards rush allowed. That is not good. And from what I saw in the condensed game, we were just getting bulldozed in the interior, just taken out of the play, cut out. So that was not good.
No.
Not good. 6.4. Yeah, 6.4. They went almost 500 total yards. Not good at all. And here's what I'll say is, and I don't know if we want to put this bid bad or indifferent. We'll kind of just start closing it out here. I got really – Sheldon, you got to tell me a website that counts it better. Because me going through the thing and being like 1, 2, 3. We ran 24 plays in the first half. 24 plays. Not counting punts, kickoff returns, 24 offensive plays. And we split it down the middle, pass to rushing. Y'all, we're not going to win a lot of games if you go ass backwards with what you do well, because I think was it Doug Bowman today had the stat. Like we were one of the best rushing teams, 25th in the country with efficiency. Sheldon, you might have saw that, or you might have that. And we're like 125 when passing. We can't come out here and just we're going to pass the ball halftime. We're going to run the ball halftime. No, you cannot do that. And some people would say, well, we got down 15. For the two gentlemen to my on the other side of the screen both played. Most of the time, when the offense, even if you get down a couple scores, are you going to completely go away from what you do best? It's like we're down 2. If we score a touchdown, it's a one possession game. I didn't get that, and it frustrated me.
Yeah. It don't matter if you just,
I was watching the condensed version.
It's okay to, like you said, you go away from what you do well. And then not only do you go away from what you do well, you go to something that you do horrible. We ain't a fucking passing team. We ain't doing good at it. I think we may have had something ridiculous for the last 2 weeks. 35 yards one week in passing, maybe 50 yards another week in passing going into halftime. We're not a passing team. I said before the game, you gotta do what Haynes King does. You gotta use him like that. You gotta run the ball. And Kyron did a good job of running the ball. He did a good job of. It's not too many people that really want to hit him when you put him, get him to the secondary. If you can give him a hole to get through, and then you pairing him with Hawkins and little bit of Stewart. I think Stewart's still dealing with some injury type stuff, but whatever the case is, man, you got people that's in there running hard when we get opportunity. One time we start driving the ball down the field, and then what do? We start fucking passing it and throw a pick. What do you got to pass it for? Running it just fine. I think we was getting like 7 yards to carry that drive. So I don't know, man. I understand coaches are stubborn a lot of times and want to be like, this is what my offense does, but this team can't run that offense. So switch it up and try to win a game.
Yeah, at some point you got to lean on your strengths and play to the strengths of the personnel that you have. And when you look at the personnel that we have right now, we've got some good wideouts that I think you want to try to get the ball to, but at the same time, the strength of your quarterback is not dropping back and throwing down the field. The strength of your quarterback is giving the ball off, using him in the running game, working in some shots or some stuff off play action that gives him the opportunity to really kind of survey and get a really good look at the field and not have to just have a straight drop back and have to get to his third read in his progression to get a completion. That's never going to be Kyron's strength. So I think we definitely need to lean on that running game as much as we can going forward. And it was frustrating at times to watch because when we did finally commit to it the way I thought we should, we saw some success.
We did.
I'll throw this one in there as something. I don't really know what category it falls under, but we didn't have a John Love field goal this week.
That's awful. That man needs to keep kicking so he can get in the league and make money. And he's.
I mean, we ended up, getting down there a couple times.
We went for it.
Turning over on downs, yeah. So
yeah, we went for it. We did what you're supposed to do when you're the underdog. You're supposed to go for it. So, yeah, we didn't see a John Love field goal. So, yeah. Shelton, anything to put the cherry on top of the Georgia Tech game?
Yeah, regarding the run pass splits, credit to Doug Bowman here. Tech ranks 33rd in the FBS in rushing success rate, but only 125th in passing success rate.
130.
And I was
there's 134 in
right. 136 now, but still. And then you look at some of the EPA numbers, pretty much the same splits. Rushing overall, I think it's 23rd, and then passing 111th. So, if Tech ran the ball more, would those splits necessarily stay the same? I don't think so. But at the same time, they could probably be a little bit more balanced relative to what their strengths are, like Brian said. So I just think, Montgomery's really trying to force the pass, and it's just not working at all. It kind of worked last year because we had guys like Tootin that could, really break off big explosive plays, but it's just not going to work with this team with the personnel they have. So I do think they need to start running the ball a little bit more.
There you go.
That's something like Kyron has been pressured like some of the most in the country as far as drop backs.
Yeah, it was total number of quarterback hits, I think.
Hits. I couldn't remember those pressures or hits. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Percentage wise, it's not like number one bad, but it's still up there in terms of like the actual total. So he's just taking such a high volume of hits to his body.
There we go. What can we do better moving forward? Protect Kyron, run the ball more, and be who you are. All right, before we get into the big topic and start bringing people on tonight, I want to hit one topic we just did not get a chance to hit last week, and that is the changes that are likely to be voted and confirmed with the portal for 2026. And if you hadn't heard, and I'm going to get y'all's opinion real quick, but this is the ones I pulled out. First of all, spring portal is being eliminated. If you're with your team in the spring, you with them all year. They are moving the portal window that was December for 20 days to January. It's going to be effectively the 2nd through the 16th. Now, if you are in the CFP, that moves and they get an additional 5 days to get in the portal after their final game. Another change, and we've already seen the reflection on that for this year, is for us, it was the coach leave the 30-minute or 30-day window immediately after they're fired. So that Monday, trial start on a Sunday, it's over from that Monday, 30 days. I think we are just about closing it now, right? It's almost closed. It was the 20th or something. So we got another week before kids can jump in the portal. Well, that changes as well. If the coach leaves, first of all, before anything can happen, it's a 5-day grace period. So to me, what they're saying is if you get fired, you're going to get a whole week with your new coach. And then after that, 15 days to enter the portal. So not as long. I'll start with Sheldon. I like it, hate it, don't give a shit.
Yeah, I have a lot of conflicting thoughts on this. I'm a big athletes' rights guys. I always support the players, and sometimes that leads me to very unpopular opinions. But I guess my question would be like, it seems like an extremely small window of time, considering you've got the playoffs going on. Guys are making decisions where they don't necessarily know, what the outlook of the team is, or who the coach is going to be sometimes. The end of the school year, summer is when lots of students tend to leave and transfer. So you're kind of saying like football players can't do that without, like, I guess, suffering a penalty. So I think it'll probably be challenged in court. I understand it. It certainly leads to more, stability, I guess, from like the coach's perspective, and you kind of know who's going to be on your roster. But it seems a tad bit too much. So I would like to see maybe a little bit more concession towards the player side here. But like I said, I think this will get challenged pretty soon here.
I think if there were scenarios where a coach wasn't having to not only re-recruit his entire roster, but also get in the transfer portal and fill any gaps that would be remaining, you could keep a situation where you had a spring portal and a winter portal. I feel like with the structure of the transfer portal and NIL and the ability of players to really be as mobile as they are, there's going to need to be some give and take with that. And I'm not sure if this is maybe the best implementation of that, but I think it does give a little bit more stability of coaches being able to balance re-recruiting their roster, what they can get in the transfer portal, and at least knowing more or less that once they get their roster kind of set and raked after that window, they at least know what they're going to be starting the season with, even if players ultimately decide to opt out, redshirt, and transfer mid-season like we've seen with some players. That's going to happen regardless, but this is at least saying, within that window, there's not going to be two different windows of shuffling in the offseason that a coach would have to manage as they're kind of working towards that fall camp.
Anything on this, Tyler?
Yeah. I mean, just what everybody else has kind of said. I know, well, Brian mainly, but it's kind of like it's became such a shit show, to be honest with you. Like I'm with Shelton as far as the players advocate, and they do deserve certain things, but I get it. Coaches are leaving, coaches are getting fired and changing and things like that. So a lot of stuff happens, but I think they just let it be the Wild Wild West for so long until somebody finally was like, please, let's do something. And they're like, oh, you need me? Well, now I got to pimp you again. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that's what I feel like it went to. So only way I can describe, like, something had to happen because it's so much movement. And then you got so many kids that are like not playing in bowl games. I might transfer. I'm sitting out because of this. So they're like, okay, well, you're messing with our money, so we're going to mess with y'all's money. So it is what it is, man. I ain't saying it's good or bad. I don't know. I think that anything where they get their mitts in there and get involved sometimes is a little screwy, but we'll see how it plays out.
100%. And see, it's like a split difference here because what you say, Shelton, yep, they are humans. They should have some sort of rights when it comes to this. But there's also needs to be structure. In so many other sports, there are structure. In so many other leagues, there's structure. And it is the Wild Wild West. If they had just started a few years ago and just said, when you initially get to your destination after you sign your letter of intent, you got to stay there 3 years minimum. You have to. And then get your money. And then after that third year, you likely have 2 years of eligibility left. Then do whatever the hell you want to do. So I think it's almost there like they're tightening it up. I think if I remember correctly from reading the articles, they are going to be exceptions where if effectively a player goes to a coach and the coach signs off, the coach can enter the portal and they can transfer during the summer. And maybe that comes smaller waves. Like if you just got to a school, you can immediately, like to me, like a double year transfer. If you transfer portal in January, you cannot do it again in May. And if you've been there 2 seasons and you got overpassed, maybe something like that, but that'll be interesting. Yeah, 3 years, Chris.
Would there be exceptions to that? Would there be exceptions to that?
What do you mean?
Outside of coaching changes, would there be exceptions to not being able to transfer back-to-back years?
No, it's not back-to-back years.
Okay, sorry, I thought that's what.
No, same year. So
Gotcha.
If you transferred in January to Tech, and then you were like, you know what, I can't even crack the 4 deep here. I'm that bad of a player. I want to transfer to Eastern Washington. You don't get to do that. because then, I mean, that's really the bigger issue at it. So, all right. Well, that's what we got so far, but I see the chat has been lighting up the whole time. Now we are here for the real show, and that is hearing y'all's opinions on who you feel the next Virginia Tech coach should be. We're going to put it real simple. This isn't you're going to come on here and talk for 30 minutes. Callie said it very nicely the first time we did this. You're going to come on, speak a couple minutes. We may have a question. We may ask you a question and keep going. But then after you've done all that, where they got to go, Tally?
Got to go to the left, man. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
You got to get out of here because there's likely going to be more people wanting to talk about who they think should be the coach. So,
nah, man, we'll run a space, you know. At one time, we'll run a space or something like that where we'll get a little bit more in depth about wanting to hear you guys because we do love to hear, you know, everybody's takes and stuff. We just don't have enough time to go so deep on here. So the only thing that we ask when you come on, I mean, it's I ain't saying it's no rules, but everybody, we know how to act. All we're saying is if you come on and you got a coach, we just want you to come on, tell us why you think this is the kind of coach we need. And how realistic maybe some things like that. We may ask a couple questions on that, but it ain't just give me John Gruden because he looks like Chucky. Right.
Say Nick Saban. I mean, that's a good pick, but you got to tell me why that's a realistic choice.
How you think what drew you to that? Yeah, and what needs to happen for us to entice him? Something. You got to give us a, you know, maybe give us a sandwich with some chips on the side. Like we don't need spaghetti, the salad, the bread, you know, then some lasagna. We don't need that whole meal. Just give me like a little.
We don't need Sunday dinner.
Plate. No. We just want like a little cookout plate. You know what I'm saying? Hot dog.
We don't need the milkshake though. We just need a drink.
We don't need the milkshake. No. We don't want no shakes in here.
Just need to drink.
No milkshakes. Black people be lactose intolerant anyway. We don't really mess with milk. So. Our stomachs be messed up. So.
All right. I have dropped the link in the YouTube chat and Twitter chat. I see we already got one. We already got one alum coming in. So we'll get him in here first. Y'all know him.
Y'all
we love him.
What's up, homies?
Christopher Lester.
How y'all doing, man?
Hey, man. Hold on. Before you get started, Chris, this is I see the Hokie jersey in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I see what the hat says. I was about to say, we are not supporting no Cowboys on here. But then I read it. Okay. You fine with that.
Hey, listen, man. We talking Hokie football. This is my applying pressure hat to my professional team. But my choice, and we've talked. You know, we talk every day. I don't know why Sheldon ain't in the chat, but he's probably somewhere asleep. So he's not kicking with us on this chat we have on a regular basis. My choice is up until this weekend it was Sullivan down in Summerall. I think is it Summerall down in Tulane? That was my guy. That was my guy down there. But dude, I go get a former Penn State coach, man. Go get James Franklin. And I think you go get him because he gives you the notoriety of being a big time coach coming here. He's going to a lesser conference that has the ability to win because where he was at, he was always the fourth team in that conference. When he was at the Big Ten and it dropped, he was third and then it dropped down. Now it's Ohio State, it's going to be Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. And then, you know, now he's in that rumbling with Michigan and all those other people. So go get James. He's been able to pilfer Virginia for years in the recruiting ranks. And then go get him. But that's my choice, man. That's my choice.
All right. Tally, he came out. He already got you flagged there.
Got you flagged, Tally, because Tally, that's who Tally's on.
Hey, I mean, if you're gonna go and sell out, and for you to get Signetti, which probably won't happen, you're gonna pay $10 million. That would be a great move. But with Penn State being open, that's gonna be to the point. Somebody's gonna have to pay that guy $10 to $11 million to get him out of Indiana. So let's go ahead and get that out the way. You're gonna have to pay him that kind of money to get him out. And if I'm him, I'm not leaving there. Why would I leave there? I'm right in the middle of the Midwest. I can get all the offensive linemen I want that don't end up going to Wisconsin or Iowa or somewhere, and I'm always going to be able to get skill players. So,
yeah. And you can take a step back there, win 8 or 9 games, and not really have a concern for your job.
Well, the dude going to end up having. He's probably going to mess around. He's definitely going to be in the CFP 2 years back to back. He's going to have a quarterback that's going to be either get a call to go to New York to be in the Heisman Trophy race, or be a first-round draft pick. So he's going to turn around and get another quarterback. And his brother's already there. He's already talented. So, yeah. But, with winning comes expectations. And that's why I'm saying if you bring Coach Franklin here, we got to get back to 8-9 wins. We got to get back to that. This point of, he doesn't win the big game. And a lot of people have said this here at Virginia Tech. We haven't won a lot of big games.
That's
that
right.
we need.
This is what I'll throw in too. This is just about the coaching search in general. Because I posted something on X and people was like, "Oh no, why would you want him? He don't win the big games." First of all, go look at his record. We changed to what we feel like a big game is. He won games in the playoffs, and he's not a big. That's not a big game because he can't beat Ohio State. Who can fucking beat Ohio State right now? There ain't too many people.
Nobody.
But this is what I'm saying. Bro. Not just him. Listen, man. Sometimes I'm dumb. It don't happen very often, but I'm kind of dumb sometimes. So I had to go back and change my stance on things I was thinking about Shane Beamer. I was like, hell no, because I don't like Shane. I don't like his attitude. He whines a little bit too much for me. But I did have to go back and say, if we are looking for a coach, I'm Virginia Tech. I can't turn my nose up at
nobody right now. Yeah, nobody.
That is producing. So I had to go back and think about it. So for all the people who are in the chat today or people who just may go back and watch this, any coach that's being talked about, how can you turn your nose up at a coach and say he can't win the big game and we can't fucking win a little game? We getting drugged by we got drugged by Liberty.
We got drugged by ODU.
So you mean to tell me if we bring a coach in and he gets us to 8-9 wins for the next 3 years, that's not a step up? Come on, man. Y'all gotta start thinking, stop talking crazy.
Yep.
We're not gonna hire a coach and go to the playoffs the next year. We're not gonna hire a coach and go to the national championship. We only been one time. Yeah. I'm just saying, calm down. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out. So when we're talking about these coaches, everybody kind of gets a level head on what we're thinking. Because when you go in these chats, or when you go in these spaces and stuff, you can do that. We ain't doing that tonight. Like, don't come on here talking. Not this person. No, not that person. That person.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Blah, blah, blah.
As always, appreciate you giving the time. We got 2 more in the hole.
Hey, man, I got you here. I just want to get in and get out, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Anytime,
Let's hurry up and get Sheldon to sleep because Sheldon about to fall asleep on us.
He's trying. He's hanging in there.
Good, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'll let you later, Chris.
Peace.
All right. Throw Quest in here. Quest. You hear us?
What's up, Quest? How we doing?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yeah, we got you, dog.
Who's your man?
Huh?
Who's your man?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. It's Shane.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell. It's really not Shane, but it's Shane because he makes the most sense for what we need right now. Like, and it's something me and Tally talk about on a regular. Shane Beamer walks in the door, we're gonna get whatever we want from the boosters. He's gonna be able to walk in. He's been recruiting Virginia very well down to South Carolina.
Yep.
He has the name recognition from his pops. So it feeds 2 things. For whatever reason, we are stuck on nostalgia at Virginia Tech. We can't let it go. From Inner Sandman to the lunch pail, we constantly want to bring all of this back. So we got a unique situation where we can bring back some nostalgia. He was a player. His dad is the GOAT at Virginia Tech. And it also moves us forward to the future because Shane is running South Carolina like a real, 2025 type program should be run. They're not winning like that, but
I like that. That's a good point, man. He is. He's got them in the right direction for current times.
For current times, yeah.
So yeah.
Who would I like? I'm just gonna be honest. For me, I would like Urban Meyer. Because if you come in, Urban Meyer, within 2 years, you're going to be playing for national championship. That's his resume. Now, what happens after he leaves? That you don't. But I'm gonna be honest. If we're gonna wind up spending close to $12 million for a coach, like right now, you got guys like what's my man down in Kentucky? You got Mark Stoops, who's making $9.5 million right now.
Yep. I saw you put that on the timeline a couple days ago, and you were like,
That's crazy.
we're going to have to pay 10, 11, 12 million for a coach.
Yeah, so if we're going to have to spend that kind of money, let's just, and you know, I was kind of joking here in the chat a little while ago when I said Nick Saban, but the reality is, let's look at what comes up. Penn State is probably going to reset the pay scale for coaches coming up here. They can afford it. So depending on what happens, if we know that the new UCLA has the money to spend on a coach, that's not saying they will, but they
don't. They're $250 million. They don't have the money to spend on a coach. They're going to probably they don't have the money right now.
Here's the thing that a lot of people mention about Penn State. A lot of schools are looking to private equity to fund their coaches. So you got UCLA in a place like LA with that kind of potential revenue base, advertising and everything else. I could see them understanding what the arms race looks like, going to go work a private equity deal and dropping $15 million on a coach. I really think Penn State is going to spend around $15 million on their next coach. I think Oklahoma State is probably going to spend around $12 to $13 million on their next coach. So if we're in that kind of ballpark, if that's what we're talking about, fuck it. Let's just shoot for the moon. Let's make Nick an offer. Like, Nick, look, we hear you want to get back into coaching. We got $16 million a year for 4 years. What do you think?
God, dog.
Gotta try.
Well, Quest, I know we can pick your brain for the rest of the night, and I probably will once we get done with this. But we appreciate you coming on. The last thing that I'll throw out there, I guess I'll say, if you had to do some off-script stuff to get Nick Saban in Blacksburg, what are you doing?
Oh man, listen, I'm promising Nick the world. Like, Nick, we're gonna give you part of a new hotel. We're gonna give you part of one of these car dealerships over here. Like Nick, we're gonna give you
Blacksburg.
Yeah, why not? Listen, we're gonna give you lifetime. We got this new Amazon situation going. Like, Nick, we will have Amazon lease the building from you and just let you get some of the returns on that. Get creative.
They're gonna rename it the Saban Motor Mile.
The Saban Motor Mile.
There we go.
There you go. Like, again, don't think it's gonna happen. So just for the context of this, I just think everybody needs to lock in and get comfortable with Shane being the front runner. Now, I would like James Franklin. I think he recruits Virginia very well, and it's like what Tally said. Listen, we're complaining about James doesn't win the big game. We ain't been in no big games in a while.
We just need to win a game.
Preach.
Yeah.
We just need to win the little games, and then
we just need to win the little games.
Let's win the games we supposed to win first, and then we can worry about beating ranked teams and taking care of that business.
But the reason I don't think James Franklin happens is because of pride. I just think there's a bad taste coming in from Penn State. You know, Penn State, he was Pride's boss. You know, who knows? Somebody might float the rumor that he's going to hire Price as DC and bring him back to Blacksburg. Like,
that'd be nuts.
Lord have mercy.
Man, that's really my only knock, and not that scenario, but my only knock against Franklin is like, is this going down? Like, okay, so you're hiring somebody that just left Penn State. We just tried that with Pride. I know Pride was the first-time head coach. There was a whole lot of other ancillary things that were potential pitfalls with Pride, but it feels like kind of going to the same well again.
Don't forget, the failed OC came from Penn State too. He was on stat. That's how Pride knew him. He was on.
Yep.
So it's a lot of that Penn State negativity, which is why I don't think James Franklin happens. Before I get out of here, I would just like to say, please stop the Dan Mullen conversations. I don't want to see him in Blacksburg. I don't think it works.
Lord,
you ain't gonna want to hear me talk.
Dang, hey, just keep hanging on, Quest. We got some people that's gonna come in here and say Dan Mullen. So, Brian, I know you got some other people to get in here.
Yeah, Quest, appreciate it though.
All right, thanks, guys.
Damn.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, man?
Dang, when I put my hat on.
Tweet and he came in. That's what I'm talking about.
Listen. I've been thinking about this all day. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. All day I've been thinking about this. This I don't want James Franklin conversation is bothering me to death. I promise y'all. Like you
They're
can't
just
tell
talking,
me
man. People just
you can't
talking.
tell me you look at Beamer's record and then look at James Franklin's record and say, I don't want this guy. And we celebrate Beamer like he's the best thing in the world. Like there's
Whoa, you
there's
better get in
stats to
trouble.
prove that he's done well. So I don't know. It's just
James
crazy.
Franklin's probably one of the most qualified coaches out there right now. Yeah, he lost some games this year. I'm not saying James Franklin's coming, but like I said earlier,
I think he got unjustly fired because they're dumb up there. But here's my worry, Dale, and I'll put my Franklin why I worry about it. If you said we hired him, I'd be okay with it. What I worry is, and I know people are going to say he's going to the ACC. It's not as talented. The talent he had, to me, he did less with, and that's my worry. And everybody's like, well, he recruits Virginia. Hold on. Let me go on the rant I went on a little while ago. Brent Fry recruited the hell out of Virginia. Go look at his 247 resume, all the primaries he was on. That didn't help. Shane recruited the shit out of Virginia when he was at Georgia and when he was at South Carolina. He came home. He couldn't close on certain guys. My fear is it's not who they are. The stigma inside the state is kids, I don't want to go there. And the only way we'd have a chance if somebody backed up the truck and said, you want the biggest bag ever, you come here. And again, I'm not saying if we hired him, I'd be like, you know what? I would talk myself into it. But that's my only fear.
Here's my thing. If we're going to pay money for somebody, don't go get one of these group of 5 coaches or nothing like that. We're going to pay a whole bunch of money to somebody. Like if I'm going to a car lot, Tally, and I'm going to go spend $80,000 on something, don't give me no junk. I want something proven, something nice. Like give me.
Well, the thing you run into with coaching though is, like, I'm not a no group of 5 coaches type of guy. It just comes down sometimes to, like, if I like the style that person plays, I heard an interview and I like them. That's just a personal thing. Because the thing is, some of the coaches that are at some of these group of 5s, when they go to bigger schools, like look at Signetti. Superstar. What's the coach that's at Oregon right now? What's my man's name?
Dan Lanning.
It's at Oregon. Dan Lanning, right? So
first.
Say what now?
Lanning was at Georgia first. You got to remember that.
Right, but he was not a head coach at Georgia. He was. That's what I'm saying. So when you look at things like, okay, we hired Brett Pry as a defensive coordinator, hadn't coached. Oregon hired this guy, and he been tearing it up for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So it's different situations. So I don't say no, this can't happen. No, not this person because he's here. Sometimes it can work, but it's got to make sense. Like you got to give me some kind of proven resume. When we hired Justin Fuente, when we hired Justin Fuente, we probably don't like him now, but that was a great hire for what he was at that time. Probably one of the hottest names that Virginia Tech went and got. He just didn't work at Virginia. I mean, he took us we won 10 games with him. You know, he got us some wins.
When he already has the talent, he can make it work.
Yeah, when he has the talent.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Hey, Dale, can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Who were you on before Franklin? Because it seemed like for you, it was like as soon as you'd be like, wait a second, the guy who's went 38-7 the last 3 years is available. The guy that went to the semifinals, the flying football player. Who was your guy before him? Just wondering.
Dan Mullen.
Dang,
there we go.
I said,
there we go.
Here's the deal with me. We finna pay some money to somebody.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to play funny money. We don't want to go out and get a coach that ain't done nothing and then bring him in and then fire him, have to pay his buyout and then try to go get somebody else. Pay the people that you know gonna do something. Even if they leave in 2 or 3 years, if they can get our program back in the right direction, then we can bring in somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Leave it better than you found it.
The arguments I've been hearing is, oh, well, James Franklin will come and then he'll leave for a bigger job. If he comes in and has 2 or 3 great recruiting years and we get ourselves in a good position, and we can bring somebody else in. But we got to get ourselves in the right direction first. We can't just go out and just play funny money, go bring in somebody we don't know nothing about. Like, go. So
this is what I say too, to piggyback on what Dale is talking about too. If you go look at now, this ain't just me talking, because whenever I talk, then some people say, "Oh, you just a homer? Are you just saying that because that's your team and stuff?" If you go look at like big conversations about what is the best job available now, of course things are gonna happen. People are gonna be Virginia Tech's up towards the top. Like, people still regard Virginia Tech as a football school and a good school to be at, and everybody wants us to be good. There's a lot of people who are covering the football scene that wants Virginia Tech to be good. So I'm not saying that we can't go get some of these bigger names. I'm just saying we look at ourselves as this, this homeless crew or this thrift store school. Let's go and make something happen. Let's do something.
We're better than a lot of people think we are. Like, as far as the program, like, we just got new locker rooms. Our stadium's nice. Like, we got some good things to work off of. I know we need LEDs and all this stuff everybody else is talking about, but like, a coach will come in, bring in some players, fix the program, and we'll be in good position. Some of these people got a lot more stuff to deal with than we got.
I'm with that.
Brian, as we wrap up with Dale here, Dan Mullen's your guy.
All right, so innovative offensive line. I think that's going to work well here. We can recruit defense pretty well. Virginia Tech, we need to have some sort of plus on the offensive side in order to get that thing rolling. He's proven being able to win in the SEC, had 11 wins when he was at Florida 1 year. Really good track record at Mississippi State. Does a good job of coming in and winning right away, which is what we need.
The UNLV.
Yeah. Comes in, wins right away. He can recruit well. He is shown the ability to adapt based on his personnel and just go out there and get the job done. I think he does a pretty good job from a media standpoint. I don't think he'll be the boon of getting big money in that a Shane or a James Franklin would be, but I think he's
a hot name though. He's a hot name though.
He's in that next.
Yeah, he's still a big name coach.
He's not going to be at UNLV next year.
No, he won't. He's going to be somewhere else. Well, Dis and Dale, appreciate you chatting with me yesterday on the timeline. Appreciate you jumping in here tonight, man, and we appreciate you listening and being with us.
Yeah, y'all be safe.
Appreciate it, Dale.
Love the hat, Dale.
We got a blackout stream.
Hey, it's Vito.
Vito in the building.
Good evening, gentlemen. Can y'all hear me?
We got you.
Yeah, you know me. I'm always on the Xbox, but I don't be in the house just waiting to be camera ready and shit. So
there we go.
Good evening.
How we feeling, Vito?
Bless, man. Bless.
All right, who we got?
You gonna come on here and tell us
who's your man?
Gonna tell us Mike Norvell your person?
Nah, I just want to speak on the James Franklin conversation like everybody else have. Really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, everybody pretty much here agrees. It's only a vocal minority of Virginia Tech fans that don't like Penn State personally, that get into the whole Franklin conversation. James Franklin is the most qualified coach out of everybody. He done been to the playoffs, won playoff games, won New Year's Six games, recruited the state well. He's done. He's Frank basically. He's Frank Beamer basically. He did everything Frank did basically, except have a #1 overall draft pick.
There we go. And I think part of the problem I think some people are getting into is that they're having a difficulty of separating whether they like a coach versus whether that would be a good coach to have at Virginia Tech. And I think sometimes they're like, well, I haven't liked Franklin. I don't like the way he was doing business up in Penn State or things he said on the recruiting trail about Virginia Tech. But at the end of the day, we just need to win games and get players to come into Blacksburg.
Yeah, that's his job. His job is to downplay Virginia Tech if he's trying to get a player from Virginia. That's his job. People gotta take people got to take the fan out of stuff, and start looking at things logically. You got a coach right here that knew how to coach a high level program, and his biggest flaw was he couldn't beat the top three teams in the country like everybody else. Like, what are we doing? Ohio State can't even beat Michigan, and they won a natty. Like,
Yeah,
they were
like
about to
you.
fire their coach 9 months ago.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Tyler.
No, I was just saying, just like me and you was talking earlier, and you was like, they was about to fire dude. They was about to fire Ryan Day, and he went on a run and won the championship. Like they was ready to get him out of there because he can't beat Michigan. So is that him? Not he can't win big games. He won the championship though, but he can't beat his rival. He can't beat Michigan. So
It's whole
people
shit, bro. They
get
pick and
caught up in
choose what's a big game. We
yeah.
pick and choose what's big games for who. Like, once that narrative come out on you, like, they pick and choose. Like, Lamar Jackson always beats Joe Burrow, but we decided that Joe Burrow don't lose big games. So every time Lamar Jackson beats Joe Burrow, it's not a big game. But if Joe Burrow ever beat Lamar Jackson, it's a big game. We pick and choose
Facts. Gotta agree.
depending on whatever narrative is running. So James Franklin can't win big games. So the playoff games he won ain't big games no more. Had he lost them bitches, big games. It's stupid as hell.
And that's your guy, right?
Vito,
You
I
always
was gonna
gonna
say,
take-
Vito, do you got a guy that you would like to see in Blacksburg?
Outside of James Franklin,
Yeah, just anybody. It could be Franklin. Is that your guy, or who would you want to see as the next coach?
I want Whit Babcock not in Blacksburg no more. Let's start this. Let's do that one.
So all the other
I thought
stuff don't
Curry.
matter.
Yeah, the other stuff don't matter, man. I gotta protect a black coach, man. I don't know if James Franklin even is black, but I gotta protect non-white coaches because there ain't that many of us allowed to even coach. So I gotta protect my people, man.
There we
I
go.
gotta stand up.
I will say this too.
Shout out
just
to
'cause
all the
Vito
black
brought it up.
guests too. It's been an all black guest. Shout out to Boundary Corner, man, pushing diversity.
I gotta say this while Vito's on here because he just brought it up. I don't think a lot of people understand, and I don't want to make it all about race, but we've never had a black coach in Blacksburg, right? If you get a black coach in Blacksburg, there is going to be an uptick in recruiting. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
There
I
will be
ain't say you just
motion.
going to go get. I ain't going to just tell you going to go get any black dude and bring him in. I'm just saying, like, Fran Brown going to Syracuse caused the uptick in recruiting because there's not a lot of black coaches. So you're going to have some kids that are going to go and want to play for a black coach. I mean, that's just what it is. Whether you want to hear it or you don't, like, that's just what it is. So now you talk about James Franklin being a coach that is a high-level coach and has coached at the highest level, which is the playoffs, almost made it to a national championship. He's going to get some kids. So when people start talking about, well, they ain't going to want to play here, and man, you don't know until you try it. So I just want to throw that out and kind of kill that conversation if people's out there saying he can't recruit or he can and stuff like that. If he came to Blacksburg, he'll be able to fill his recruiting classes would be better than Price or Fuentes.
I mean, just off the mere fact, the motherfucker will bring some people with him, unlike the last coach from Penn State. Bring some
He
Penn
said he
State people with you, gang. What you doing?
That's one of the things I was talking about earlier before we hit go live, man. I was like, well, when we look at what Pride did and what I think Franklin could do, it's like, some of these guys, when they move, guys move with them. I mean, even Matt Moore coming in as an assistant, brought a couple guys along with him. Like at some point, we got to look at why folks didn't follow the train there, especially considering that a lot of those guys that were at Penn State were, Pride was their primary on the recruiting. So like, why weren't they following this guy? And at some point, I'm sure some of that's a financial thing, and I think at some point it was just he didn't have the motion to sway those kids to leave something that they knew about and come down to Blacksburg and give it a run.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Prime, man. No, coaching there. But shout out James Franklin, man. I want James Franklin. Any other coach, man, I ain't gonna disrespect no other coaches on this platform, man. I'm not qualified to speak on what they is and what they ain't. I just keep my ears to the street. And I just want Virginia Tech fans to, open up their heart a little bit and stop being so fucking hateful on Penn State because they ain't got nothing to do with us. And just take a look at James Franklin's resume and look at everything he done did over the last 11 years, not what he done did over the last 3 weeks. The man been there 11 years, and they don't. These motherfuckers finished top 5 last year. Shout out to Penn State to finding a black coach for going finishing top 5 and find that nigga in a year. Shout out to them. Shout out to Penn State. Because guess what? The next coach ain't gonna be Ohio State either. So shout out to Penn State, bro, for thinking they was them. Because they put a good one on the street.
Are we going to start a narrative with recruiting? Look at them. They fired the black coach, and he was winning games. He was taking them to the playoffs.
Winning games, bro. And I don't even know if James Franklin back, bro. He might be amigo, but shout out, bro. Shout out to him.
Vito, we appreciate you jumping on, giving us your opinion as always. Take care, man.
God bless. Good evening. God bless.
Later.
Appreciate you.
All right, Vito.
All righty. Oh, gracious.
There he is.
What's going on, fellas? How we feeling today?
Mattias B is in the house.
I know you guys are keeping it quick and it's running on a little bit, so I'm gonna save y'all some time. Here's where I'm at. James Franklin, obvious choice if you can get him. The problem is we're not the pretty girl at the dance, and there's a lot of people. That's by the time that this season ends, there's going to be a lot of jobs open. So with that being said, it's got to be, I think, Dan Mullen, right? So every guy came to the dance and they said, I want the hottest girl here. But at some point through the night, you realize that's probably not going to happen. And so you got to settle for that 6'7", not the dime, that 6'7" that you can take home. And I think Dan Mullen is that.
Hey, Matty, how many double JMOs do we have to throw back before we're ready to go home with that?
I mean, not many, honestly. I mean, it's one of those girls that like she has good conversation. Yeah. But no, so Dan Mullen's only real fall, and Shelton and you guys, much smarter people than me, can tell me this or not. The only way that Mullen left Florida was because of weird COVID times. If it wasn't for weird COVID years, Mullen's still at Florida. And he's doing fine at UNLV. He's still landing on his feet. Like, he had good seasons at Florida until COVID. And then he's on his feet at UNLV. I think that he's a perfect fit for us. We're not the pretty girl at the dance. Like, if we can get Franklin, hell yeah. Obviously, number one pick.
Right.
I would take him any day in Blacksburg. But I just don't know that that's going to be the case. So for me, I'm with Dan Mullen.
All right. Matty B, ride with me on this one. I like that.
Well, I love you guys. I'm looking out here. Save y'all some time.
I appreciate it, Matty. Always
appreciate it, old man.
Later.
Have a good one, brother.
Oh man. All right, this is gonna be tough. We asked him to like to keep it between 3 and 5 minutes.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, my guy?
The white bit.
Hey, a great show so far, man. I was just listening. I said, man, I gotta jump on because I got some thoughts. Hey, so look, man, Virginia Tech got a coaching issue, right? Obviously, that's what y'all talking about, right? The issue, it's real simple. Like, I know Maddie was just on talking about we're not the pretty girl at the dance. It's gonna be a rack of positions open. You know, it's gonna be a lot of vacancies. But at the end of the day, man, like, we might not be the pretty girl, man, but we got a nice outfit, man, and we got some attributes that somebody may check for, and we may be able to become a Jenny Jones makeover type chick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got some curves, you know what I'm saying? We got a nice shape. We got a membership to Lifetime Fitness. So we can, you know, look, I'm gonna be serious though. Seriously, Virginia Tech, this is why I don't mind Franklin at all. I don't mind the guy from Memphis. I don't mind Mullen. The only one when Quest was on here, here's my issue with Urban Meyer. He wins immediately, but I'm concerned. I still remember him bent over, having anxiety attack, panic attacks, and he needs to take care of his health, man, because he takes winning so seriously. He couldn't breathe. But on a serious note, Virginia Tech got a coach. You know what's funny when I say they got a coaching issue? This is what I mean, fellas. and I mean, y'all my brothers. I've gotten close to y'all over the last 5 years. Virginia Tech needs a guy to come in and coaches, man. The recruiting, the money, all that stuff makes sense. But I mean, you go back to the last few years of the Fuente era, the timeout against Liberty, the mismanagement of personnel groupings, ostracizing the in-state schools with the Texas to Virginia hashtag, the corny ass hard, smart, tough with the hard hat, and then you bring in Fuente. Bring in Pra. He does some of the things that Fuente refused to do, but clock management, loyalty to players that should have been challenged. To me, Virginia Tech's issues is coaching. So it could be Mullen, it could be the guy from Memphis who I like a lot. It could be another coach that we might not know about right now. It's really, to me, Virginia Tech's issue comes down to coaching. Like if you look at the games they lost last year, 1-score games. If you're 1-12 in 1-score games, if you win half of those last year, you got 9 wins. I think people are looking at it from a name standpoint because fans want to win the press conference and they want to be happy with the name Mullen and all of that.
Yeah.
Listen, we got a lot of guys. I hate saying this out loud. We got players, and I know people get mad. We got players that's getting overpaid at Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it because I can say it. I know people say, "Hey, man, that's the market today. That's the market." I don't care if it's the market. I own 2 small businesses. I'm not overpaying anybody, so accountability has been missing. So to me, bring anybody in that knows how to coach and that knows how to get these players to work hard. The fact that we had a terrible off-season conditioning program, it was non-existent. I think fans hear me talk about that. I don't think people realize the importance of running a program and how it works. Brian, you know what I'm talking about. Tally, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like running a program, man. Like, so when you talk about a name, guys, we need a guy that can come in and run the program. All the other stuff, GM, recruiting, Curtis, you made a great point about the brand that's taking a hit. Some players ain't never going to go for Virginia Tech. Let me just remind people, Dre Blah from the 757 went to UNC. That was in the 90s. Lawrence Taylor went to UNC. That was in the 90s. Ronald Curry, National Gatorade Player of the Year in 2 sports, never been done before and hasn't been done since, went to UNC. UNC, Penn State, guys have been going outside of the state since the 70s. That's not a big surprise. But what you got to do is get in-state and guys that can come in from other areas that can come in and contribute and play ball. That's what you need, that know how to deal with effort and know how to be held accountable. It's just the players were telling the coaches what they weren't going to do sitting out. You know what I'm saying? The shit is sad. And that's the issue. So that's my stance on it, fellas. Like, if it's Franklin, I can rock with Franklin. Rock with Franklin.
Well, so everybody wants to know the link is back in the chat. Brian threw it back in there, but you mentioned a name and that Shelton's high on. Go for it, Shelton.
Yeah. Silverfield was my guy, and I know he's kind of unconventional. I know some people are scarred from the Memphis connection. I understand that, but when you look at all the Group of 5 coaches outside of John Summerall, who I think we all agree probably has the best body of work, he's clearly going to SEC school. I think Silverfield has the best resume. He's been at Memphis for a few years now. He's probably on pace to have 3 straight 10-win seasons. I know he built off the foundation that was laid by Norvell, but he's done a really good job. So he's my guy. I just think at this point I'd rather go with a guy who has previous head coaching experience. And when you look at some of the Power 4 coaches, it's kind of like a mixed bag. You got Dan Mullen, who got let go a couple times. He's at UNLV now. Obviously Franklin's a great candidate, but do we know if he even wants to coach next year? Not necessarily. So that's the reason I chose Silverfield, because I just think he has the best actual head coaching body of work among candidates that we could get. So there you go.
Yeah, y'all know I will rubber stamp.
I'm with you.
I'll rubber stamp Silverfield. He's a guy that obviously when I was playing in college, he came straight out of high school. Actually, during his senior year, he was already coaching for his own high school. Came to Hampton-Sydney, coached 4 years at Hampton-Sydney. He's a guy that's known he wanted to be a head coach since he knew he wanted to be anything. And I think that's a guy that you want as a coach. Now, whether that's a good fit for Blacksburg or not, we can argue that till we're blue in the face. But if you're talking about a coach, and if you're talking about the best available or possibly available head coach that's in the group of 5, it's Ron Silverfield for me.
Facts. Hey, look, Florida State if they keep that Florida State's lost 8 straight ACC games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they probably gonna be in the same situation. I don't see things turning around.
Insane. In 6 weeks ago, they smoked Alabama. Smoked.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's wild how a team can smoke Alabama and then it'd be at the bottom of the ACC within 4 weeks.
It's crazy,
wild,
but that's why I said, to me, man, like what I see going on, and this is a bigger issue, but what I see going on at the Power 4 level, I'm not even gonna mention the other levels or even high school. What I see is a coaching issue with programs. Fuente was a very good coach when he first got here, and I agree with you guys, and I was celebrating him. He was a hot commodity. He came in and did the thing, but then he did it to himself after that. But he knew how to coach, and it was just some issues with personnel and other things like that. Pride came in, man, and there was a sense of stubbornness, right? That's why I go back to coaching, because if you look around the top 25, what I see with teams that we're losing to is they have a better group of coaches. Not to say certain guys on our staff don't know what they're doing, but the other programs seem to have more direction. That's why it doesn't have to be a hot commodity name for me. I think the name, with your guys that's watching and listening online on X and all of that, I think the name makes people feel good. You know what I'm saying? But like, to me, I just feel like when I look at the other programs that have surpassed us right now in perception and in reality, they just got better programs and they know how to run their program. We're not talking about history. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm talking about the here and now. So like at the end of the day, those other teams, they have a better sense of what they are on and off the field, man. Like,
there you go.
So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Let me talk about shit.
Hey, Dwight, I appreciate you. You kicking Chris while he's down a little bit with that Cowboys channel.
I was gonna say, you definitely threw one at Chris, man.
Oh, that's right.
Definitely got on Chris.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, no clue what he just did.
Chris slid up on one of my DMs because I don't have a favorite NFL NBA team, but I take time every now and then to troll the Cowboy. But I troll the Cowboy fans. You know what I'm saying? Because they really be going through it. But every year it's their year, and their defense is horrendous. I can't believe they lost to Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's why I said, gentlemen, I just want new memories, man. I just want somebody. I want somebody to come in and give us some new memories. I'm okay with scratching everything that we have. Just some new memories, man. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off and listen, man. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, Dwight.
Appreciate it, Dwight.
Alrighty.
We're gonna try to get Phil on here right now. It's not letting me add him because it says his mic and camera is disconnected. So let me go ahead and jump. We'll get Josh on.
Phil will get it
while Phil gets his stuff set up. Josh, what's going on tonight?
Not much, fellas. How we doing?
What's up, Joshua?
Living the dream, man.
Whoa, that's the government. That's the government name.
Josh, there you got.
So before Franklin got fired, my top 3 that I kind of wanted to see got Dan Mullen at number 1. Just his track record, Florida. His worst recruiting classes at Florida would still put Virginia Tech in the top 25 recruiting. Number 2 would be Pat Fitzgerald. What he was able to do at Northwestern back then, he was able to turn them into Big Ten almost power until that whole hazing incident came out and then just kind of derailed everything.
It was not Carl Washington.
They did say,
and
they did say,
Dickens.
Yeah, they did say that he was exonerated from wrongdoing. Didn't he sue him or something like that, Brian?
Yeah. He sued him.
He said he ain't. So hey, I just want y'all to know we ain't gonna throw no slander on Pat Fitzgerald's name. He was not allowing dinglings to be rubbed across people's heads in the locker room. Just to let you know.
No car wash.
Go ahead,
and then
Josh.
the third one, as just maybe this dude just needs a change of scenery. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, just maybe the expectations were too high for him at Wisconsin. A change of scenery, could put him right back to where he was at Cincinnati when they beat us in that Armed Forces Bowl, and then making the college football playoff as a G5.
It's funny because you say that. Like, I feel like the expectations for a good Wisconsin program are the same as a good Virginia Tech program, but at the same time, they play in the Big Ten and not the ACC. So the potential to get there is a whole lot easier in Blacksburg than it is in Wisconsin.
But can I say something about Luke Fickell? Because I'm glad you brought him up. He's not my pick by any means. But the one thing about Luke Fickell, and everybody's like, oh, he's going to Wisconsin. Look at Wisconsin doesn't recruit the way you think they recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Like go look at they don't have top 15 classes, top 20 classes. They're usually down in the 40s because of what they did all the years under Alvarez. Luke Fickell's an Ohio guy through and through. Ohio guys pull from the Mid-Atlantic, from Pennsylvania. Ohio itself is an unbelievable football state. And when he was at Ohio State, he was recruiting all over the country. I think for him, that was a bad cultural fit because where he was centered all of his life was Ohio. And it's a lot better, easier to recruit that area than if you go out to Wisconsin, which is kind of on an island. It's not as good football. So good point on that, Josh. So are you, but now you said you had a top three, but is Franklin your one now that's happening?
I don't know if I would consider him the one. I would slide him into that like top four. I mean, besides him not winning big games or whatever, in a sense, like Frank Beamer had a hard time doing that exact same thing with Tech. It's just the fact of what he was able to do in the footprint of Virginia, taking all the top 10 state kids to go to Penn State. Like if we could get half of that back to Virginia Tech with a solid coaching staff, like Franklin would be like, in a sense, like a home run hire. We just got to be able to throw that cash at him that we're supposedly supposed to have now. So could see how that goes. But everybody's signing NDAs now, so we have no idea what's going on.
Oh man, it's going to be all interesting to have. There's going to be a 30 for 30 at one point on this. We had Phil, we lost Phil. I was getting ready to say, but there is going to be a 30 for 30.
Well, realistically, we should have two. The one that's going on now, and then the whole debacle in the Fuente era with regular bacon and turkey bacon.
Man. The fact that we had to have conversations about that, real actual conversations about turkey bacon was kind of frustrating for me.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Josh, I like you had two new names there. The Dan Mullen seems to be the one where everybody's trending, but I like Pat Fitzgerald too. I think he's a culture fit, and what he did at Northwestern. Now that's completely upside down. That is Chicago. So I like your choices, man. And again, you jumped on here with us about a month ago. We appreciate you coming back on with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, fellas.
Take care, man.
See you.
Oh, where'd Tally go? Get Phil in here.
Hey, right. Damn. Internet's a bitch. Like I feel like the search committee right now, like just fumbling around for a light switch in the dark. I don't know, man.
Did you sign an NDA about it?
Like I don't know anything about these coaches. I know how hard it is to coach. I get it. I assume, but for what they're paid. But does anybody have any faith in who we're going to hire as our athletic director, as our GM, as our president of our school? Like I feel like we've been stuck in the past. Like their stats, we've been historically bad for 50 years. I mean, it might be time to just change everything. Like rip it up. Like the coach is, I don't know, man. We got to have a better leader at the top leading the whole place. The Hokie Club is a mess. I've said it before. It's just a mess. And we're asking donors to subsidize all this without a plan. And like that, it just seems like total chaos. Whit Babcock canceling his press conference for the second time because of an NDA. Like, I just would like some clarity at the top. Like, if you're working for a company and this is the leadership, are you excited about it?
Sheldon, I feel like you got some things to say on this front.
You mind? Hey, I'm going to apply for a job, but I don't know who my boss is going to be. I don't know who my boss's boss is going to be, and I don't know who my boss's boss's boss is going to be. And my company might be bought by another company or downgraded, or what I mean is not important in college football in a few years because the conferences have changed. Like, we got to get our shit together financially everywhere. Like, I don't understand why it is so challenging to hire a dynamic person. Like Chris Coleman from Tech Sideline was like, why isn't Jeff Bourne on this committee? And I'm like, I never thought of that. You know why? Because it's not my job to think of that. But he thought of it, and he's not paid to do it. Why aren't we making smarter decisions at the top to run the place? This is my thing. So that's all I got.
Because we don't, but Phil, it's your fault because you don't want to cheat. Use Moment at the Maury, fill it full of hookers, and get a coach up there and let him have a good time.
It doesn't help anymore. It's not.
Come on,
it doesn't
man.
help
Let's
anymore.
do it.
That
It doesn't move
you
the
gotta
needle
try
like
it.
it
It
used
doesn't
to.
move
You
the
gotta-
needle anymore, Tally. It doesn't move
You
the
gotta
needle.
try.
It
Try
does
some
not
different
move
ones.
the needle.
Well, try
It doesn't.
some lady boys then.
No,
I don't know
That
what
is-
moves the leaders now.
no, that's an Elliott move, man. Don't do that.
That's a different kind of needle moving.
Well, no,
We
it's
gotta
not
move the needle
moving.
somehow.
No, seriously, we
Use
need
mo-
better leadership
Hey.
at the top, and we
You're
always have. We haven't had strong leadership at the top of our school when it comes to athletics since Torgelson, and that's when Beamer started rolling. He understood the importance of athletics, and we have not had a leader that really understands the importance of athletics. He stumbled into an athletic school, it feels like. They wanted him for research and to grow all that. He's done it. It's time to move on because now we need to move on to something more important. So I'm flush.
No, you make a good point, Phil, because it seemed like over the last 2 weeks, the announcement happened. It felt good. Yeah, search committee sounds great. And then shit got sideways several times. And
Whit ran his mouth, and then
the best part,
next thing you know, we got NDAs coming out.
you get to point back to one person. It's always Whit.
Who on that search committee has hired a coach? I mean, I know Bruce Arians made Tampa hire their guy, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, just sit back and I don't know. And Whit there, when everybody knows is a lame duck is involved too. It's just not good. So that's my concern. And my other concern is we have the 12th best odds to win the damn ACC to win the ACC this year in basketball. I'm maybe overly excited and I shouldn't be. That's not good. So we could be in trouble. So, but we'll see. So, but thank y'all. Keep it up.
Sheldon, I know you had some thoughts on the Whit front that we had talked about earlier. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that as we kind of wrap up the coach chat with some of the stuff that came out with the NDAs and all the awkward post BOV vote stuff on that front.
Me?
Sheldon.
Sheldon. No, okay. I was about to say I thought I aired my grievances. Sheldon.
What? Sorry.
Sheldon's trying to watch the commies game and
yeah, I had to turn the TV down.
It happens.
No, I was talking about. I know you had some thoughts on the Whit front, especially with some of the new stuff coming out on the BOV and
So basically, from what I've heard, it's not the most organized search committee. I don't think they've met a ton extensively together. You've kind of got like a hodgepodge of people from different areas, which maybe can work, but I also think it might be too many cooks in the kitchen. And I was commenting on one of the message boards today. It's like, there's a reason that athletic directors oversee these hires because it's their expertise, it's their job. They're trained to hire head coaches and lead the charge and take on that responsibility. We've got a situation where you've got an athletic director who's essentially neutered, although it seems that Whit has actually had a lot more responsibility and a lot more involvement in this search process than I think people think. They said he wasn't going to participate, but I don't think that's been the case from what I've heard. Mm-hmm. And in lieu of that, you've got an 8-person committee, and I just think it's way too many hands. People are playing politics, saying, "Hey, I'm only going to consider these types of people. I want this guy, I want that guy." Like it's just not it's not organized. So I think when you get down to it, the question people should be asking is why did we not let Whit go after Pry was let go? We essentially have a ghost of an athletic director who's not participating in the search, but also he kind of is. I just think it's a train wreck.
Yeah, it is definitely something that where it looks like there wasn't a plan, and I think that's going to be a problem when it comes time to hire. Is that folks going places, making moves, uprooting their family, all these different big changes that take place when you become a head coach somewhere. I think you like to go somewhere that has a plan, not just the money plan, but like a plan of what they want, how they want to approach the sport, how they plan to raise the funds to get you there. It's just it still looks like, even with more cooks in the kitchen, that it's still kind of this backwoods mom and pop operation, because you didn't sack up and do the thing that you needed to do, which was fire Witt when you fired Pry.
Yeah, and that's all on Tim Sands, and I think it goes back to what Phil just said a couple minutes ago.
They were too worried about keeping fucking appearances with, like, well, he's making this presentation, he's asking for money. You can't fire the guy that's asking for money. Yes, you can, because he should have asked for money 3 fucking years ago.
That's the God honest truth. And that's the bigger issue is, like, I think what Phil said was perfect. You truly need a president who's all in on athletics right now. He talked about Torkelson. Look up Torkelson. It was 2000, I believe. He was before Steiger. Is that right, Shelton? Torkelson was before Steiger.
Yes, correct. He was early 90s.
Yeah. So, like, there are different times and ebb and flows for what you need for a university. And great. Tech's almost an AAU school. Wonderful. The research is way up. Enrollment's getting higher and all this stuff. And you don't need that anymore. You are in an era where you need someone who is focused on the college experience. Athletics is going to be a lot to deal with that. Get that guy in here who's willing to operate around that. I didn't get to say mine yet because nobody mentioned it except somebody in the chat. But the chat, we're not putting your coaching stuff on. You come talk to us, we'll do it tonight. Sorry, I'm going to be an ass about that. But I'll mention mine.
Put your name on it.
Put your name on it. Put your face on it. Because I can talk a bunch of stuff behind the keyboard, but you come in here, there are people that have put their names on things, and if they get hired and bad shit happens, Tally said he's going to be clipping this in a couple of years and saying it's y'all's fault. That's who y'all wanted to be the head coach. But for me, I want Matt Campbell, because look what Matt Campbell's done at Iowa State the last decade. That thing, Iowa State has never been good at football, ever, until Matt Campbell got there. His current salary is $4.4 million. I think we can double that in a heartbeat. And he is a coach. Dwight wanted a coach, right? He is a coach. He's not a CEO figure. He's a coach. Look what he did at Toledo. Look what he did at Iowa State. The man
But he's not a Fuente style where
he's not.
He's anti all those other aspects.
No. He can do the media stuff. You ever hear him talk? Holds good conversations. And the thing is, much like where Fickle went to Wisconsin, he's stuck in Iowa. You can't recruit great in Iowa. If you can get him out of Iowa, I got $9.3 million reasons. And guess what? Iowa State's budget ain't nowhere near that. They cannot afford that. So if you want him at, Matt Campbell would be your guy. Ohio guy as well.
Let me ask you this. All right. So when you look at it, the recruiting struggles are kind of interesting because, I mean, it's fucking Iowa and you're recruiting against other Big Ten schools. So you get some of that. You get, there's a lot of stuff going on there that can be talked about ad nauseum. But at the end of the day, can he get recruiting to where it needs to be in Virginia, in the state of Virginia, in the Mid-Atlantic? Is he a guy that can make that? Like, obviously, he's got some of that, Ohio River Valley experience from a recruiting standpoint. But does he really have the chops to come in here and make some big waves in the Mid-Atlantic from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, that's what's got to be found out. Now, I'll say this. Can I ask you a question? And I'll ask this to all three of y'all. If he comes in here and he goes something like 11, 9, and 8 in his first 3 seasons, you don't think people will be running? Because he's already putting guys in the league.
Yeah.
I think with him, it would be more of if he came in, restructured, and it literally went like 7, 8, 11. All those kids that, I don't want to go to Virginia Tech. Wait a second. Kids go in the league. They got big NIL. They on TV. They win in 11 games.
It just comes down to –
because winning solves shit.
Yeah,
right?
It just comes down to, like we saying, like, if you get somebody who can coach that comes in here, which you're going to have, the recruiting is going to start to do something because – Pride was not a coach. I mean, he wasn't a head coach. Excuse me. I ain't trying to disrespect the man. He wasn't a head coach before he got here. And he came in, and for what he was, he recruited well. he didn't recruit, top of the college leaderboards, but I'm saying for Virginia Tech, he came in, he built some bridges, and he recruited well. So you don't think if you get a coach with a name and a pedigree behind him, and he comes in here, some kids are going to give him a chance.
Yep.
If you do, and I don't know much about Matt Campbell, but I know he's, from what I've watched over college football, like he's a good coach. I know he puts together good teams. I know kind of what the identity of the teams that I've seen him coach is. So I can see him coming in and winning those close games that we've been losing. Because as bad as we've been, look at this past weekend. We've just lost to a top 15 team, by what, 15 points? Was it what? Yeah, 15 points
15.
On a game that we played horrible and we didn't have nobody out there really. I mean, I don't say nobody, but a lot of the starters that we expect to be here and a fired coach. So yeah, you bring a good coach in to go play some of these games and they start winning a couple of them. It's going to change the way some people feel about the university. So Matt Campbell's that's a good name to throw in there, Curtis. I hadn't thought about him.
Hey, Steven, we'll give you a pass on that one, buddy.
We'll give you a pass, but Steven, to be honest, if you had your kids in the background screaming, it wouldn't bother us. At least it wouldn't bother me.
Curtis,
I don't give a shit. Huh? What?
We used to it.
We used to it. 100%. 100%. Man, we had some good names tonight, and
definitely.
And there's still so many out there that you mentioned Sheldon. You mentioned John Summerall. You think you can't talk about him because like the thought in everybody's head is Mark Stoops in about 3 weeks going to get fired, and John Summerall's going to get that job, right?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Shelton.
I mean,
Yeah,
Rule's
sorry,
probably going to get
was,
Penn State at this point, more than likely. So.
And
you said who at Penn State, Brian?
Rule.
Matt Rule.
Oh, yeah. They definitely they throw that name out quick.
Well, yeah. But there's still more to be had. There's right now, if you ask me, in my opinion, what dominoes need to fall before Virginia Tech can get their coach? It's Penn State. That's it. That's the only domino that has to fall.
When it comes to Matt Campbell, I'm interested because if Fickle does get removed of his duties, is that where Campbell is looking?
And they can't pay.
So, at that point, does Fickle gets into play on the board like Josh was talking about earlier. So I mean, there's a lot of different directions this thing can go. I think we got to see how. Unfortunately, being in the ACC, we're a little bit further down the pecking order, even relative to schools that we would consider ourselves better than overall.
But they have to get fired.
Let me throw this out. Curtis and Brian.
Yeah.
And Sheldon's here too.
Sheldon too, but just because y'all was talking about it, sorry. So out of we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know who's getting fired. But out of the football season and names that we've seen that we think may not end the year in stellar conditions. And take James Franklin's name out, and I would probably say take Shane's name out because we already talked about that. But other coaches who potentially will get fired this year, out of those coaches, or what schools do you think would be a good fit in Virginia Tech if we hired a coach that was fired? That's not fired yet. Like we say, Luke Fickle, Mark Stoops, Mark Norvell. Trying to think of some other names of people who may be gone. Hugh Freeze, I don't know, man. He's very unlucky this year, but Hugh Freeze, yeah, man. I'm just thinking of some names.
Saturday night.
Hugh Freeze wears out his welcome so fast that as
every
soon as they have a good excuse to fire him,
every game that Auburn has lost this year, he has got screwed. He made a deal with the devil. I'm telling you. If you go back and watch that Oklahoma game, he got screwed. If you go back and watch that Georgia game, they screwed him a couple times. And I can't remember who else.
You ever seen a ball in somebody's arm break the plane of the goal line and somehow get ruled a fumble? I walked in on that late Saturday
that's
night,
crazy.
and I was just like, "That's a touchdown." It's a fumble.
That would have been 7. That would have been 17-0.
It should have been
Going
it should
into
have been
halftime.
17, and that would have changed that game. Yeah, everybody could.
Yeah.
And if you say screw who, Signetti ain't coming here, buddy. Signetti ain't coming here.
I'd love him to
Eric,
come here.
I love it. We had our
I would love
chance.
him to come
We
here.
fucked it up. But by the way, I have a question though.
Signetti is on the bigger and better things, my friend.
Signetti was you
21
probably
was.
would have hired Signetti if Fuente hadn't failed, because you were scared off of G5 coaches with the whole Fuente situation.
Yeah.
And so you ended up going a little more conventional route, but you went a conventional route that still had the
dumbass
risk associated
conventional
with it
route.
because he had never been a head coach before.
Nope.
But you know what?
Then hired a first-time coordinator on both sides.
You know another one that like, believe it or not, 2021 was definitely on our radar, and now he's likely going to get fired in the next couple of weeks. Is Billy Napier, and people are going to scream now he fucked up Florida. I think Florida is the toughest job in the country, bar none. I think Florida
It is a hard place to coach and
It
win.
is. It's a hard place to coach and win. It's also a place that thrives on getting really good recruits. In my opinion, if you look at what Napier did at Louisiana, that's usually where you start telling if they're a good coach or if they're just – he did it 3 straight seasons down there, 11, 10, and 12 down at Louisiana. What does that probably mean if you win that many games in G5? Because you ain't got the most talent anywhere. Usually you have to probably coach. If you told me tomorrow Florida fired Billy Napier and we're going to hire, I know a lot of people would be like, goddamn leftovers, goddamn retreads. Maybe he just wanted the right place. Maybe he just wanted the right place. That's something to always think about. Sheldon, anybody else? I feel like you're reading something. Is anybody else maybe going to be on the hot seat that if they got fired, you'd be like, yeah, he could come here and probably be successful?
Yeah, I was just looking at some of my my coaches in the database that I built up. I mean, I personally don't think going after sitting Power 4 coaches in most cases is the smartest idea. When you look at some of the numbers, it's actually not the most fruitful decision or like the most the success rates for those coaches are way lower than you think they would be. G5 coaches tend to do a little bit better actually. So that's why I mentioned guys like Summerall and Silverfield, kind of wanting those guys more. I don't know. I just don't know who you would get. Like, Jake Dicker at Wake Forest, like he doesn't have a super extensive body of work. Fitzgerald's got some baggage. I don't know. Like it's just not. It's not the group that I would be really targeting the most. I for more proven guys who have prior experience. And I just think you're going to find more of those guys at the G5 level, personally.
What about Charles Huff then?
Yes, Charles Huff. I think he was actually a very good
Huff.
recruiter at Penn State. He was one of Penn State's best recruiters when he was there. So that's also, a plus.
Man, if you got a head like Charles Huff, you got to have a good brain. You see how big that man's head is? He's like Mega Man.
Hey,
I know he
played at Hampton too.
Played at Hampton.
Yep.
But the other thing with Huff now, if we take a look at him, is look what he did at Marshall. Somebody put on there, he did call out the AD because he said he wasn't getting funded enough. They're like, okay, you can leave. And next thing you know, he's already having a good season. He's 4-2 down at Southern Miss in the driver's seat for the Sun Belt, that division.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew that there was some weird. We knew there was some weird situation going to Marshall because of the way the previous coach had left, and then we saw what happened with Huff. So, like, Marshall have some problems, maybe even deeper than Virginia Tech's when it comes to athletic department structure, having a plan, money, all those things. They've got some problems on that front. So, like, Huff leaving and moving on to what was considered at best a parallel move doesn't really surprise me too much, because it sounds like they've got some big problems, especially in the sport of football, if not kind of across their athletic department there.
Yeah, 100%. And we don't. And the whole thing is right now, what else is going to open up? Because Florida could come open. Some people I saw people keep telling Michigan's going to come open.
Man, this could be one of the biggest years in terms of just overall head coach openings that we've seen in forever, which is probably not great for us because a lot of these jobs are pretty high profile. Whether it's in the ACC, there's going to be potentially a couple SEC jobs open already. You got a couple Big Ten jobs that will be open more than likely. So I mean, it's going to be kind of the wild, wild west. I'm hoping that we are high enough in the pecking order based on what we can offer financially, where some of the other stuff doesn't matter as much.
And then you got to think about we always hit on tonight are current head coaches, right? I don't think we've mentioned a coordinator, and I don't think anybody wants a coordinator hire. But there's also quite a few head coaches not coaching anywhere right now. I am very shocked somebody put John Gruden's fucking name in the fucking chat tonight.
No.
We might be a little bit more intelligent than I thought because we did not see John Gruden in there. Thank the Lord.
Or somebody asked about Jimbo a couple weeks ago. I do not want Jimbo. Jimbo needs to go somewhere like Arkansas.
Jimbo needs to go somewhere. I mean, Jimbo wears out his welcome pretty fast as well. Like we see him, he comes in, he starts the fire, and then he puts it out himself and gets the fuck out of Dodge and leaves everybody else handing the ashes.
You me tell you, like if I'm the player's parent, just because of what he's done with quarterbacks, I tell Michigan, like, just go hire him for the 3 years. You paying on my son all this money, go hire the guy who could put some quarterbacks in the league. Because he has been a good offensive coordinator, quarterback coach for the most of his career. Like, so if Michigan comes open, I mean, that day, it's going to whim on what Underwood wants to do. Underwood's probably going to conduct interviews for that head coaching position.
Yeah.
As much as they're paying him. Luckily, we do not have that problem. Or unluckily, we do not have that problem. But
hey, just real quick, I want to address something right quick. I know we're getting ready to get out of here because I see Eric has joined the chat and he's asking a couple of questions about why people want Witt fired, and he's made some great hires in other stuff besides football that don't fucking matter, Eric. Football is the cash cow. You cannot hire 3 bad coaches or 3 coaches that don't work out in football at most schools. He can do great in basketball, baseball, swimming, wrestling. They are not generating money in those sports for the most part.
Yeah.
Football is driving the bus. You need a AD that is focused on making what makes you money better. And he hadn't done that. So he's got to go. That's why everybody says
he also has not brought those sports to a point where you're at least winning national titles in either. Like if we had a couple national titles to show for the fact that football has fallen the fuck off, I think you could make a case of, well, he reprioritized and we're seeing the fruits of that labor. We're not really seeing the fruits of that labor. I mean, more or less, with a couple exceptions, the athletic department is only a little bit better than his predecessor, top to bottom.
There's only one sport.
Yeah, so
only one sport that is clearly above.
But football is significantly worse during his tenure. So at the end of the day, football brings in the dollars. Basketball and women's basketball were number 2 there, but outside of one run, I mean those teams haven't really been world beaters in terms of deep runs and things that are getting your athletic program national attention. So at the end of the day, there's not a lot to show for him doing so good in these other sports, and football has fallen all the way off. I mean, so
yes,
you got to get it fixed.
He did hire Foot. He also extended it. He also didn't fire him when it was time to fire him. He made his hiring of Fuente was probably maybe the cherry on top, but as soon as all of Frank's players left, all those old heads got off, it went like this. And then he had a Heisman-type quarterback that somehow he ran out of town.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing with Fuente that we don't talk about enough.
He was a good coach. There's no question about that.
That's the thing, though. And what Dwight was saying earlier, he's like, the coach is important. Yes, that is. but he talked about you still have to be able to do the other things. And one part of being a coach is being able to recruit the state that you coach in. The other part is being able to bring in money for the program. If you can't do those things, even if you're not doing it at the elite level, like one of the things Pride did pretty well, he hit the ground running recruiting, and he was able to talk to donors. Now, he didn't necessarily knock it out of the park with donors, but he was able to have conversations with donors that at least got the needle moving from a financial standpoint. Fuente couldn't do that. You can't. You've got to be able to coach, but you can't just be a coach. Not if you're a P4 coach. You can do that at G5. You can't do that in the P4.
Not at all.
Hey, I got to give a shout out right quick. I'm pretty sure this my barber is in the chat tonight. Dave the barber is my barber.
That's your barber?
Yes. Yeah, that's my barber, man. Dave the barber. That's my guy. So he's joined us tonight. Don't look at me right now. I got to go visit him. It was homecoming week for Alabama A&M. He was booked up. Shame on Dave for being booked up. He stays booked up because he's good. But that's my guy. He put up Jed Fish. I don't know, man. I mean, I would like to see a little bit more wins, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Not saying he ain't a good coach. I think he's done a decent job at the stops he's been at Washington now. So
yeah,
that's another name that I hadn't seen anybody bring up. So, but shout out to my barber David.
Barber David. All righty. We got anything else to wrap up tonight? It's been a good one. I love the discourse in the chat. I love folks' opinions. I love it when I agree with them. I love it when I disagree with them. It's what makes it fun. What makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even if we disagree with what you're talking about, I appreciate y'all jumping in there and letting those opinions be heard. I think it makes what we do more interesting.
It does.
So we appreciate that engagement and keep it coming, man.
Definitely, man. Definitely appreciate any time that we do this, man. Everybody's always, coming through with some good stuff and some good discourse. So we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all for hanging in there. We know how hard it is to stay up late. If you're old like us, you want to be in the bed. You're starting to get cold. You're starting to get that arthritis in your knees. But instead, you stay up and you listen to BCP. We appreciate that. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We appreciate y'all coming on, putting your name on some coaches, being one of the co-hosts with us today, because Shelton has been preoccupied, but that's okay. We still love him. We appreciate Shelton hanging out here with us today.
Jay Lane had a big catch, by the way.
Yeah,
okay. Jay Lane in the building. Another person that we wasted in college, but shout out Jay Lane.
Shout out Jay Lane. With that wonderful little monologue by Jonathan Talley, I am going to wrap up this episode of the Boundary Corner podcast, brought to you by Counts Family Pharmacy, brought to you by Moments on the Maury. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Jonathan Talley.
And I'm Sheldon Moss.
Commanders 24-22. Looks like they're driving again, Shelton. You're rooting for them hard. Visit our website, boundarycornerbt.com, to listen to all of our episodes. Follow us Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube account. Keep following us on YouTube. Love seeing y'all guys jump on there. Love seeing all the YouTubers. Look at that. Look at all the YouTube right there at the end. All the YouTube chat. Appreciate y'all getting on there. Also, check us out on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. As always, our buddy Jason Long plays us out. Check out jasonlongmusic.com, where it will link to you to all of his music on all of his sources. It also will show you where he is playing live down in Roanoke. And as always, we appreciate y'all for listening. And as always, let's go.
Hokies.
Hokies.
Hokies.